top to the bottom, from one corner to another, from the east to the west, from the upland to the sea, from the inside to the outside. Amama ua noa, it is freed, it is lifted.
We can't find no peace of mind, trying to hold on to native lands when we were born. Let's shed some light.
And boom Kanani.
Boomer'n. How's it going today?
Yeah, no. It's all good. It's all good. I mean, there's so much going on in our world, and there's so much that you can get depressed about, and there's so much to whine and complain about. But you know, there's plenty enough people doing that. I had a great weekend. How about you?
I did.
I
had
enjoyed
an awesome
myself.
weekend.
One of the most uplifting and spiritual events that I've been a part of for a long time. Homegrown Music Festival. It was so manifold down there, and I just want to throw a quick shout out to Dove Little for all the hard work that he's done over the last 15 years putting together Kauai Homegrown Music Festival. Medicine for the People was bringing medicine for the people. That was a killer performance. Taimane from Oahu Island, what an amazing musician and ukulele player. Ron Artiste and his brother Thunder, phenomenal duo. Folks should keep an eye out for them. And yeah, there were so many wonderful artists, and you know, it's amazing. You get around people like this, you get around the energy of people who are enjoying each other, who are feeling high love, you know, in a good place, and you take that home. It's kind of like when you go to church camp, you know, and you hear the word and the good message. And I know you've never been to church camp.
No, I've been to church camp.
A lot of us have.
I've been to church
and
camp.
It's kind of like that. So you go to this retreat thing, you get all the energy, and then you go back to your regular life, and boom,
slaps.
Oh, but it's all good because I'm directed, I'm focused, and I am unwavering.
And we're winning.
How weary I become.
And we are winning.
And the victories keep piling up. We get we gotta mahalo a little bit to grassroots movement, even though I pretty much have no love for those guys because of the kind of information and dissemination and nastiness that they tend to share. It's amazing to me Hawaiians can protest these things that our government, their government, those United States do to us. And you know, we can protest, fight, argue about all of that stuff, and they'll tell us, oh, so nice, pat you on the head and say, okay, go about your way, and then they go and do whatever they're going to do to us.
Or they throw money at people.
An organization who, if you don't know anything about grassroots movement, you should go look. Appalling, the things that they're into, and the things that their members say about Hawaiians. I'm wondering how they managed to convince Hawaiians to join them in their lawsuit to stop Nai Aupuni successfully. And my belief is that, you know, these Hawaiians who went and joined grassroots movements, they did their thing as U.S. citizens. They didn't do it as Kanaka Maule Hawaiian nationals.
Well, why don't we save that for the 10 o'clock hour?
We'll save that for the 10 o'clock hour. But it just never ceases to amaze me how American citizens can go and protest what American government is doing and get action. But when indigenous people, Hawaiian people, protest against what American government is doing, we get told we don't know what we're doing and we need their direction to get anything done. And then nothing gets done. To benefit us, that is.
There's a word for that. Bourgeoisie.
Bourgeoisie racketeering.
A bourgeoisie brain. Yeah, if you have a bourgeoisie brain, you're not real bright.
It's time to remove the chains from the brains, decolonize yourself in your brain and your mind, and you know, be a sovereign individual. Be a sovereign. Discover your own sovereignty.
In the meantime, we have 5 countries listening online this morning.
So radical.
Besides the United States of America. We have Japan listening this morning, Deutschland, Germany, the Ivory Coast in Africa. Much aloha to our brothers and sisters over in Africa. It's so thrilling to me. Someday I'm going to visit your country. Our Canuck cousins are listening in from Canada. And I just want to say a special aloha to Anik, who has just moved here from Canada, and she's in the studio with us filming today. And so mahalo nui loa for coming in and doing that for us. And also, of course, the Swiss. The Swiss are listening because you know why? The Swiss are smart. They know that whatever happens here in Hawaii is going to directly affect their money flow over there in Switzerland. Let's see who's listening around the United States. Well, Kailua Kona is tuned in. And that's not the United States, that's the sovereign Hawaiian Kingdom. But Houston's listening to us. Cheyenne, Wyoming, Oakland, California. Aloha to you this morning. Las Vegas, the 9th island. Hey, you fellas listening in over there.
Hafala.
If you guys win money, throw some at us over here. Why? You listen to us. Go to kkcr.org and check it out. We're a free speech Hawaiian radio station. Aloha to you, Las Vegas, this morning. Camano Island, Washington. That's in the San Juans. Nice. Fort Collins, Colorado, listening in. Bend, Oregon. That's our mermaid, Kristen, who listens faithfully every week. We got a message from Kristen last week, and she said that we are the highlight of her week. And a lot of people say that about our show. I guess because we're so brutally honest. I don't know. But we tend to shine the light on a lot of stuff.
The Ivory Coast is tuned
I know.
in. Isn't that awesome?
Our African brothers and sisters.
Abidjan.
We're coming over. We're going to come visit you. Me and
So
Donovan are
easy.
going to come visit you in Africa.
Hey,
Share
we'd
manako.
love to bring our message of aloha to the world and all
Yep.
over the place. And, it's amazing how those opportunities come to us. I love that folks want to hear. And
We'll be
wanna-
going on the road a
wanna-
lot this coming year, Don.
Yep, we sure will.
We sure will. We'll be going on trips, so I'm going to be needing a dog sitter.
Well, the next one's going to be New Mexico.
Yes.
We'll be headed out to New Mexico
and
for
they are
the,
listening in this morning.
for the Gathering of the Nations. Yours truly, myself, have been invited to speak to the Native American Indian Studies program over there at the University of New Mexico. And so we'll basically present what we presented when we went to Tufts University.
Right.
It's kind of cool to be like a non-accredited smart guy, having all these PhDs, doctors,
So funny when we were in Boston.
baccalaureates.
And yeah, all these doctors and professors are presenting, and then we get up and we're
we're
blasting
teaching.
Sudden Rush.
And we're teaching them.
And we're like, how's it? We're DJs from Hawaii. And all the students were looking at us like, what? They brought DJs from Hawaii to
well,
talk
we're a
to
lot
us.
more than just DJs, you know. Where we sit, it affords us the ability and
tell you.
all kinds of cool stuff. So
Chico is listening in this morning. Aloha to you, Chico. That is a super fun town in Northern Cali. And I love you, Chico. Viejo, California, listening in. LA, Compton, City of Compton, listening in this morning. Mill Valley. Let's see, who else? I said Fort Collins.
if you're in Chico and you know my friend Jamie Beers, go to his house maybe and pat him on the back because he needs it.
Oh,
He's a good guy.
oh. And I want to just let you know we have a Facebook page called The Songs of Sovereignty. If you didn't know about that, you can check it out. The latest post says, when America steals, it's called statehood. I love it. Thanks, you guys, for all your posts, for sharing. And we're going to go back to our music in a couple of seconds here. I want to say a big mahalo to Kalai this morning. She sent me a bunch of links of music to play for you. So this is the third one that I'm going to play for you.
Well, folks, make sure you join us in the top of the hour. We have an urge to just play music through the whole show, but I think what I would like to see on top of that is your phone calls. So if you're listening out there in Radio Land, after 10 o'clock, we'll be opening up the phone lines while we play music. We'll have light discussion.
Light?
Light.
Light.
Well, it'll be heavy
Very light.
light.
Right on. All right, I want to play this third song for you, and I'm playing it off my iPhone, so let's see how that goes.
Oh,
Mahalo nui Kalai
tricky.
for sending us the links. And if you have music that you'd like to hear, you can post the link on our Songs of Sovereignty Facebook page, and we'll be glad to play it for you. So this one's for you, Kalai. Okay. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Hawaiian word of the day?
Hemulele. It means perfect.
I don't even want to read the news. I'm just tripping out. A newborn buried alive in Compton. A woman entombed in a container. Inside of her car in a container. Ugh.
Aloha, Miss Donovan. Hi. Yes, we are. Tongue-tied and twisted. You're listening to KKCR, man. This is Donovan, Kanani, Cabeb.
I'm Kaiulani.
And this is the Songs of Sovereignty. You just heard a track that we have never played on this show before, but due to our guest here in the studio today, filming and taking pictures, some ska flavor for you guys from the specials.
I didn't even know what ska is. I'm a DJ and I don't know what a ska is.
Ska is kind of like a morph of reggae music from the streets of Kingston. Rude boy ska is what they call it back there. So it's a whole offshoot of kind of like reggae music. Yeah?
I like
With
it.
a punky vibe.
I like
Yeah,
it.
it's super cool, super cool. Really big over in England, the ska movement, black and white, scooter boys, jet boys, and so on. And yeah, they're actually pretty cool. The Who did a rock opera movie that was based on scooter boy culture.
Nice.
And there was a great movie called Quadrophenia that featured a lot of ska music. And so anyway, we got some breaking news coming at you from San Bernardino. So we just want to shoot out some aloha and love to the folks out there. If you want to read that depressing story, you're welcome to, cousin. I think people might want to know what's going on in case they got family over there.
So this is from KTLA 5. There were initial reports of at least 20 victims down amid an active shooter incident in San Bernardino late this morning, according to a police official. The San Bernardino Fire Department first tweeted around 11:15 a.m. that they were responding to a report of a 20-victim shooting. The San Bernardino police confirmed via a tweet sent by the county sheriff department around 11:30 a.m. that there was an active shooter still in the area of Orange Show Road, Waterman Avenue, near Park Center Circle. The first call came in at 10:59 of multiple shots fired from the area of 1365 South Waterman Avenue. San Bernardino Police Department Lieutenant Richard Lawhead said the department's SWAT team was training nearby and was suited, ready to roll, and responded rapidly. There were reports of at least 20 victims, Lawhead initially told KTLA, and in a separate interview, the lieutenant confirmed that there were multiple victims. He added that the extent of their injuries were not immediately known. So there were possibly 1 to 3 shooters, according to the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, and they are warning people to please avoid the area due to police activity. That is just unbelievable.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? There's an active shooter going on.
Right
and
now while
warning
we're
people
talking.
to stay away from the area.
Yeah.
That's
Well, you know how people are. They like go touch the devil's
I know,
behind.
right? They like go touch them. They go look. It's just amazing to me what's going on over there in those United States, and the disarray that's going on. What is up with the folks over there? How many is that now this week? In just like the last 2 weeks, isn't that like 4 or 5 shootings? Mass shootings? Cray. This one. Anyway, massive amounts of love and aloha and mana going out to
Prayers, yes.
the families of the victims. It's a tragic situation that we are sad to have to report on. If you know folks out there, you may want to extend your love to those folks.
Yes, much aloha to our friends over in San Bernardino, our families.
So
Please take care.
You know, if you yes, please take care. Thank you so much for that, cousin. If you follow the Songs of Sovereignty program at all, you know that one of the things that we love to do is inspire our people to be what they are. You got something else?
Just about what you're talking about.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me finish this.
Go for it.
Because we got to do the Hawaiian word of the day. So
Okay.
let me do that, because that's where
Okay.
I'm segueing to, and then I'm going to give it back to you.
Nice.
Okay, so one of the things that we do is try to inspire our lahui, our Kanaka Maoli, our Hawaiian nationals, both Kanaka Mahauli and Kanaka Maoli, and all the other foreigners and people here. We want to encourage, especially Hawaiians, Hawaiian nationals, to be who they are, what they are, connect to what they are, and to strive for what is our Hawaiian Word of the Day today. Hawaiian Word of the Day is brought to you by the Malie Foundation, fine folks who bring us cultural events like the Mokihana Music Festival. Mahalo to the Malie Foundation for their support of Kauai Community Radio, Hawaiian music, and Hawaiian language. Today's Hawaiian word, hemulele.
Hemulele.
Hemulele. It's in the English, it translates directly to a lot of different English words, but hemulele, I'll run down the list here for you. It means in English perfect, flawless, faultless, holy, immaculate, saintly, pure in heart, complete, perfection, virtue, goodness, holiness, angel, person without fault. In a sentence, you would use it like this. Ma ema e vale no o kawai. Hemulele vale I ke I ka mali e. Perfectly beautiful is Kauai, flawless in the calm. Ko manua hemulele iho, our holiness. Ho'o hemulele, to make holy. To frame holiness. Ha ho'o hemulele iako, iko nani. They have perfected your beauty. Today's Hawaiian word of the day, something we should all strive for in our lives, to be perfect, flawless, holy, immaculate, saintly, pure of heart, complete, perfection, virtuous, goodness. We want to be angels to those who are around us. We want to be people without fault. Mahalo kia koa, hemulele.
Mai ka ino ka wa I hemulele I ka malie kua hiwi nani vai ale ale leana I ka mokihana. That's our song of Kauai. Great word today. Great word. Hemolele. And speaking of hemolele, I wanted to acknowledge that 3 years ago, a man who just really impacted my life, Uncle Soli Niheu, he passed away. And I last saw his pole, literally, in the courtroom a few years ago. This uncle, you know, you talk about being who you are. Uncle went to court in a malo, and he would moon the judge every time. He would moon everybody. He would flip up his back flap after saying what he had to say and moon them. And you know, if you're not familiar with war, Hawaiian or Polynesian war,
Yep.
that was how it started, was the chest thumping and the tongue thrusting and the okole showing.
Yep.
So Uncle Soli made a huge impact on me very early on in my journey through sovereignty.
He's impacted many of us in this movement.
And there's a beautiful photo of him on Facebook. He's passed away 3 years ago. We miss you, Uncle Soli.
Miss that smiling
I know he's
face.
watching us from the other side, telling him, show him your coup. But anyway, he was so smart and so inspiring and just very loving. So we miss you, Uncle Soli. 3 years ago today passed away, and that's hemolele.
It's kind of
right
crazy
there.
to believe 3 years. Huh?
Yeah, it has
I mean,
passed so
that-
quickly,
Yeah.
so very
Unbelievable.
quickly. So, yeah, Uncle Soli, and then also today, remember, it's Louis Kabibi's birthday. So if you
Who?
see Louis around,
Who?
you gotta spank him. Give him his birthday wax. Tell him Kaiu says happy birthday. We love you, Louie. And I don't know, I feel like, I think the holiday energy is happening, so it's really kind of,
You catching the spirit.
I'm always in the spirit. I'm
catching the
Buddhist.
spirit.
I celebrate everything, but
You know, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I mean, I feel the spirit. I feel what this time of the year brings to
Yeah.
the folks, but I don't see it very much around. The drive-in the morning is it's kind of shame. The way folks treat each other on this island. You know, there's a thing called the merge. Guys don't, the bottleneck zones that happen, I believe, if folks were more patient, wouldn't tailgate the guy in front of them, would let the guys who want to merge into traffic the right way. The traffic problem, anyway, whatever.
yeah, you know what I do for a living, right?
Yeah.
Hours and hours and hours.
You know perfectly well.
I think we are possessed by the spirit of tailgating.
Is there such a...
I will pull
no.
over and let a guy go in front of me, and then the next one comes, and then they tailgate the next guy.
But you know what? I'm
I'm
squarely convinced that Hawaiians are NASCAR fans.
That's what it is.
They're not tailgating, they're drafting. It saves money when you draft the car in front of you because you're not using as much gasoline because the car in front of you kind of pulls you along when you get caught in the traffic. You know.
I guess.
So it's all good. It's all
I
good.
guess.
It's hemulele that everybody is the way they are.
Wanna send aloha to our kia'i on Mauna Awakea.
Aye.
I'm looking at a really good looking t-shirt, and it's Cookie on Big Island, and the newest shirt says Kukia Mauna on the front, and in the back it says wrong place, wrong time, wrong people.
I want to send a big shout out to the folks over in Papua New Guinea.
Yes.
This weekend they had a large protest, and over 300 Papua New Guinea nationals, indigenous folks, were arrested by the Indonesian military and police. The video is on YouTube and throughout the social net. You know I'm boycotting Indo, and I'm gonna suggest that anyone else who feels for the plight of what's going on in Indonesia, it's appalling. There's a complete, total media blackout happening. There's little to no media attention going on with what's happening in Papua New Guinea.
Horrible.
The human rights violations and the atrocities that are happening there. It is literally a genocide. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Papua New Guinea nationals are being slaughtered every day. I can't fathom that in my brain. It's really hard to wrap around how a nation like Indonesia can stoop to the levels that they are stooping to, treating these people the way they are, and the fact that they are only being enabled by the British government, the gold that is there. The largest gold mine in the world exists in Papua New Guinea, and I wouldn't have an issue with these governments doing some of the things that they do if they weren't slaughtering people to do it. So our hearts go out to the Indo people, and if you are going to Indo, I'm going to boycott you too. And any person I know personally, because I know a lot of people here, we get plenty of people who go to Indo this time of the year.
And most of our trinkets that the visitors buy are made in Indonesia.
Or the Philippines or other places.
Yeah,
and
you're not buying Hawaiian goods
heavy
here.
stuff going on in the Philippines too we should share and get into in the future. So that's my BDS suggestion for today.
Boycott, divestment, and
sanction Indo, and especially the surfing community.
Please.
Those guys, they inject a lot into the economy in Indo. The surfing community does, and I think that if more of the surfers were speaking out about what's going on over there, we'd see a little bit more action.
For real.
And if I see any photos of surfers in Indo in the next year,
Ka'amoana.
guess where those photos going to go? In the rubbish can. Because I
Yeah,
can't support
it's-
you if you're gonna go over
yeah.
there and throw money at the Indo economy right now because of what they're doing. They get that gold mine, they don't need your money, so we need to encourage folks to divest and boycott.
We need to encourage folks to put people's lives above everything else.
Everything
And
else.
if each of us did that, we would not be in the mess that we're in right now.
Oh.
Auntie Nani just sent us a message.
Nice.
Hi, Auntie Nani. Mahalo for tuning in this morning. She says, here's a word that I just learned. Ultra vires. It means government acting outside the scope of their authority.
Yeah.
Well, in 2008, the kupuna of this island, who are actually right now our acting government. See, when you are deprived of your own government, your monarch, and your government,
Exilium.
you become a person in exilium.
A nation in exilium.
Yes. And in international law, once you are in exilium in an indigenous culture, the elders become the acting government. And so in 2003, the kupuna of Mokuokeawe, Hawaii Island, published this letter in their newspaper. And in 2008, under the direction of the kupuna on Mokuokeawe, our kupuna here on Kauai published this letter. And I don't think we're going to spend a lot of time on Na'iau Pupi this morning, but this was something really important that I want to keep sharing with people. They're stalled right now. They've extended their election deadline. Surprise. And, you know, this is ultra vires, this election that's going on. It's a perfect example of that word, Auntie Nani, ultra vires, government acting outside of the scope of their authority. Here you have the United States government who's put together a cute little package of recognizing us as a fake Indian tribe so they can get their hot little hands on the rest of our assets and wealth. And it's just not flying with our people. We already knew what was happening in 2003. We knew what the plan was, and our kupuna took care of us back then. So I want to read the letter that our kupuna on Mokuokeawe and Manokalanipo, Kauai, published in the newspaper, making it a legal notice, a legal document, signed by our kupuna here. And it says, Keakua is the spiritual foundation of the Hawaiian Kingdom. We gather this day in the district of Wailuanui, Ahuano, to recognize and affirm our traditional and customary role as kupuna, representing the 6 districts of Moku o Manokalanipo, the island of Kauai. We gather to protect, promote, and preserve the rights of dominion inherently vested in the Kanaka Maoli people over all matters concerning laws, land, water, air, and occupancy throughout the Hawaiian archipelago. Further, we pledge our allegiance to the lawful Hawaiian kingdom, to our beloved Queen Lydia Kamakani, and to our founding fathers, Kamehameha I and Kamehameha III. It is our purpose to join in concert to recognize one another as traditional kupuna representing the districts of Moku o Manokalanipo for the mutual protection against the onslaught of oppression, destruction, and deceit of the foreign military occupying forces and civilian governments of the United States and the state of Hawaii and its agencies and representatives. It is further stated that the Hawaiian people recognize that we as subjects to the Hawaiian Kingdom cannot accept posthumously an apology to our Queen. Therefore, we must take responsibility to continue her legacy and hereby notice all government entities, foreign or domestic, that the inherent sovereignty of the Hawaiian people belong to the individuals and that no organization, including but not limited to the Office of Hawaiian Affairs, Department of Hawaiian Homelands, Kauinoa, Kana'ioluvalu, or any other group may represent the Hawaiian people without notice and express permission on every matter. Signed in September of 2008, a who's list of our kupuna here, some of them on the other side now in our backbones. And this is a legal notice. So, if you, Kanaka, have received a ballot in the mail and you did not sign up on their list, they have used your name by proxy. And that's what this document was about. The ending part of the documents has the definition of proxy. Black's Law Dictionary defines proxy as one who is authorized to act as a substitute for another person or who is authorized to vote another's stock or interest. And we have this legal notice where our kupuna, our acting government, have noticed the United States and all its agencies that using our names by proxy is forbidden. So like I said, if you got a ballot in the mail and you didn't sign up, you have a lawsuit. And I have a feeling that the Na'iaupuni people are going to be waking up not to the smell of coffee, but to the smell of lawsuits, because they have been using our names and using our names. If you don't want to be part of this illegal election, you need to disenroll from their list. And if you have received a ballot and you didn't sign up for the list, we would love to know about it. Please message us on Songs of Sovereignty. We would like to put together our own list, a list of people that their names were published and used without our permission. And then with that list comes the smell of the class action lawsuit. So that's what our kupuna did for us years ago, knowing what was coming down the line here. And it is going to be probably the undoing of the Na'iaupuni fake election, fake state roll, all this stuff. So anyway, I just really wanted to get that out to you this morning, and I want to keep talking about that very important document because I believe, like I said, that it is the key to just dismantling the whole idea even of their election, so that they can't do it anymore. They need to stop spending our money to do this fake state
Millions
stuff.
and millions and millions of dollars just thrown to non-Hawaiian entities to put this thing together, only to have complete failure.
Over and over.
Time and time again. Na'iaupuni is only the latest. We're talking about like 5 different attempts over the last decade, 20 years actually, 2 decades, in trying to organize the Hawaiian and Kanaka Maoli population into a Indian tribe under the authority of the United States of America, relinquishing any of our claims, extinguishing, I'm going to say something harsh, and I'm going to say something true and real, and these guys who are doing this thing, trying to convince stupid Hawaiians, basically, in a word, to give up their rights, all right? And kalamai if you're offended by that term, but if you're not educated and you don't know your history and you don't know the truth of the matter of the fact, you fit in that category. And I'm here to try and pull you out of that category because I love you and I don't want you to be that. Because we come from much greater, the only nation in the world that was ever able to achieve a nearly 100% literacy rate, the Hawaiian Kingdom, okay? So that's what your legacy is. That's where you come from. That's why we encourage folks to be educated. Know what's going on, understand your history, know your roots, know the desires and the heart of your kupuna. And you're going to know where you got to go with that. It's super simple and easy. We got a couple more shout-outs going out because, there's all kinds of nasty, dastardly deeds going on to our environment. And I want to just take this moment to acknowledge some Canadian folks, since we have Canada in the house.
Canada's in the house.
Mount Poly Mine's about to get their discharge permit. If you guys haven't seen what's going on with Mount Poly, Kanahas Manuel is an active Aloha Aina in Canada. She's fighting for this Mount Poly dam to be stopped. And so let me just go over here real quick.
I'm posting her photo right now.
Yeah.
She's an awesome Native woman,
Yeah.
very fierce warrior, and she is keeping us updated on what's happening.
Imperial Metals Corporation is the name of the corporation who runs Mount Poly Mine, and they are responsible for one of the largest environmental disasters that has ever happened on the planet. And we're looking at an entire ecosystem gone in a matter of a week, irreplaceable, pristine watershed, contaminated irreparably, and they have just requested that they be allowed to continue. And so we're encouraging folks to not support that and to reach out to the Canadian government and let them know that you do not support any further Mount Poly mine activities. So, the Mount Poly mine disaster is an environmental disaster in the Caribro region of central British Columbia, Canada, that began August 4th in 2014 with a breach of the Imperial Metals owned Mount Poly copper and gold mine tailings pond, releasing its water in slurry with years worth of mining waste into the Poly Lake. The spill flooded Poly Lake, its outflow Hasentine Creek, and continued into the nearby Quanza Lake and Caribro Lake Creek. By August 8th, the 4 square, that's huge. The pond was empty. Water tests showed elevated levels of selenium, arsenic, and other metals similar to historical tests. Before the disaster, the cause of the dam break has been investigated with a final report published on January 31st, 2015. Imperial Metals has a history of operating the ponds beyond its capacity, and it's the same story we see with all of these types of operations, logging and so on, going on all over the place. And so our shout out and motto goes to that community and the folks who are fighting to save that. We got shout out, we haven't talked about these folks in a while, so I'm going to the Idle No More page right now. I'm just kind of getting an overview of what's going on here. A big issue facing Indigenous peoples across Canada is the missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirits. If you're not familiar with Two-Spirits, that's trans or gay people, basically. How else do you say it, right? Two-Spirits. So they have a male and female spirit in essence with them. There's a conservative party, there's a Liberal Party, and there's an NDP party and a Green Party in Canada. If you go to the Idle No More page, you'll get a very good overview of what's going on with them now. And the reason why I like these folks right now is because they're doing what we've been trying to do, and they're very strongly committed to educating their community about the problems that they're facing. And there's few groups around that have gotten as active as these folks have gotten in really effecting change in their legislation and supporting their own territories. One of the most fascinating things that I see with what's happened with the XL pipeline, because that was Idle No More's biggest case in movement that they were fighting, was this XL pipeline that was going through. They've won some major victories with that. The Canadian government and the U.S. government has pretty much come forward to say that they want to abandon, or at least the American government has come forward and says that they don't want to support that, and they don't feel like it's economic due to the price of oil right now. The Canadian government still has a desire to push forward with this XL pipeline in a different form. They're transversing and crossing Indigenous people's lands, the tribal lands, which are treaty recognized, which the Canadian government claims and understands they don't necessarily have true authority on because of the treaties that have been established. And one of the things that I see that's entirely amazing to me is the level of organization that these warriors out there have had, and the fact that they were akamai enough to know that a pipeline can't go through an area where infrastructure has been set up. So these wonderful akamai warriors have gone out, they've built community centers, roads, all across these areas where they want to clear the forest for the pipeline, essentially blocking pipeline production. And if you go to the YouTube channel and you check out anything that has to do with Keystone XL, you're going to get lots of video regarding what's happening over there. So big shout out to our Idle No More friends. We love you guys. Aho and mahalo for your preservation of our aina.
And I want to send a shout out to Pono Aloha listening in over on Oahu this morning. Pono has dedicated his life to videoing and sharing, educating our people on a shoestring budget. None of us get paid for what we do. And Pono is very active. You can check out his videos on Pono Ke Aloha on Facebook. He pretty much is at every single thing, and he documents everything. He is our eyes, and he tries to travel to all the islands and, document what's going on all over. And so much, a big aloha to you, Pono. Thanks for listening to KKCR and Songs of Sovereignty, and thanks for all the work that you do for our people. We have all of this stuff documented because you were there. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I have a picture here that Kanahus Manuel, our warrior woman over in Canada, has shared, and I'm going to share it on Songs of Sovereignty page. But it shows the Quesnel Lake before Mount Polly and then after.
Isn't it amazing?
Millions of gallons of toxic mining waste.
It's just so sad.
And it's sort of, we have that going on here in our own backyard, where they're poisoning our stream bed down in Hanalei with contaminated soil. The state of Hawaii is rebuilding the stream banks with contaminated soil
I know.
that flows out into the bay. So, this is a picture that I've put on Songs of Sovereignty. This is kind of our future if we don't stop being so greedy.
Yeah,
and,
well,
it's
it's where we're already at as
Yeah.
a planet. I mean, you can't go anywhere in Hawaii, the most isolated landmass in the world, and not see the effects of human discard. The fact that our beaches have particles of plastic in the sand. The sand is actually plasticky now.
Yeah.
And you can go to the most remote beaches and find chunks of plastic in the sand everywhere. And it's no wonder that we're finding albatross birds who are dead and their guts are bloated and exploded with plastic bits coming out of them, because that's all there is to eat in the ocean anymore. It's sad. It's sad. Something drastic needs to be done, and I'm glad to see the topic of climate change being so prevalent in the media and at the UN and other places where these types of issues can actually be taken care of. Finally, we're 1 degree away from oblivion. They just announced that this generation will be the last generation for a long time to see an under 2% carbon level. So 1 degree away. If the planet warms 1 more degree, they're saying we're done. So it's important, it's drastic, and it's amazing that only now do they want to address the whole situation.
Yep.
Yeah, nope.
Yep.
And addressing it does not mean sending people to Mars to colonize Mars. They need to stay here.
Yeah, this is our home planet, so we should really take care of it.
You know what, the Martians, I feel bad for those Martians up there, knowing that Earthlings want to go over to Martian territory and colonize Mars and do to Mars what they've done here. We don't deserve that. We haven't been able to take care of our own planet, right? So why do we feel like we have the right to go anywhere else and do what we do? It doesn't make sense, does it? Anyway, 826-7771. We got 15 minutes left in our program, and if
Call us
you'd
up.
like to call,
We're going to put you on the air. You can tell whatever you like.
to put you on the air. It's one of those shows where we're just kind of bouncing all over the place and going from topic and place and.
I think
and
for
whatnot,
us, I think for me too, sometimes it's so much that you're just like, okay, I'm just going to play music. Because that's what I do best, I think. I'm a great communicator, but I think that picking the music and playing the music that inspires our people and causes them to move forward. Because my assessment of our situation here in Hawaii is that the reason why we're kind of stalled right now is because they're just not that uncomfortable. We're not getting axed in our beds by the government. We're not being lined up and shot and killed. And so we have this thing going on. We have a chance to be sovereign. We have the movement heading towards our freedom and independence. However, we're still very, very westernized and colonized in our thinking, and we're just not that uncomfortable enough. We're not starving.
I'm pretty uncomfortable.
But a lot of people aren't. Go look at what's going on at the store today. Before Thanksgiving we had Christmas. And I trip out on how
You mean
much.
before Christmas we had Thanksgiving?
Yeah, yeah. You know, it's like these holidays roll around and everything is about money. It seems to me like everything is about the money exchange, you know, and it doesn't feel Hawaiian to me, and it makes me real uncomfortable. But then I watch the people around me and I'm like, oh.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. We get to these times of the year where we're
They're gonna
supposed to be
eat this
jolly
spam.
and happy, and we end up more frustrated than we should be because of the pressure that's put on us by the corporate entities to spend our money and live up to the bogus standards that they've created for us. You know, it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. We need to truly find independence with ourselves and be sovereign as individuals and have courage to do that. And collectively, when we all start doing that collectively, we'll begin to see things really move in the direction we want them to. And it's true. I know this to be true because I witness it daily in the lives of the folks around me who are doing exactly that. And I've watched many folks who have been frustrated in their life doing this work that we do come to the point. Uncle Butch Kekahu was one of them. He was one of the last things he shared with us before he left was that, you know, this nationhood building, national sovereignty is all good. I'm happy to be a part of that. But for me, it's gone beyond that. And he said, it's about personal sovereignty now for me. And many of us who are in this movement, we get to that point because of the adverse that we experience in this movement, that so many people deem us lunatic for even suggesting that we return to a Hawaiian kingdom and encourage the deoccupation of Hawaii from the United States. It's hard work. It's crazy to think that that's a possibility sometimes. Yeah, it's a little far out there, but it's true. And the facts are there that support the truth of these things that we say. And so we want to encourage our folks to hold on to the truth. Be independent in your ways. Be sovereign in your lifestyle. Feed yourself and don't depend on the man to take care of you because, well, we see how well they've been taking care of us. And it's in this environment that we have today where we actually can do this. We can actually do this if we do it. We can.
We can do it, and we would love to hear from you. Give us a call here.
There's so much great music Hawaiians produce. What a beautiful flavor they have.
You know, I really think that they tried to abolish our language, but because they liked our music, our language survived.
Well, the music survived because they liked the hula dancing. You know,
Which is really war.
Isn't it crazy how all
Hula is really lua. So it's funny how, you know, that's why I really truly believe that we Kanaka have endured and survived because we have our music.
Yeah, absolutely. So regardless of what has been and what is, thank you for letting us have our language. And I'm, you know, in the darkest, most dim light, I'm gonna find the shining beauty in what is there, no matter what, and I'm gonna be able to find something to be grateful for, because Akua is good.
Stand in the light of truth.
Maika, you know. Mahalo for tuning in. We are the Songs of Sovereignty. I love you, cuz.
I love you, cuz.
Mahalo.
Aloha.
And thank you for listening in. Up next is Democracy Now! With Amy Goodman. Democracy Now! Is made possible by listeners like you in partnership with the Dolphin Restaurant and the Greenery Cafe. Mahalo to the Dolphin Restaurant and the Greenery Cafe. The Greenery Cafe. I told you I was all tongue-tied and twisted. Mahalo, Greenery Cafe and Dolphin Restaurant for your support of Kauai Community Radio. And please give a listen to this.